Fuck. You turn off your light? No.
Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, pretty sure everyone here is way too young to hear the only stories that I want to tell.
Yeah.
I could tell you about this one girlfriend that I had in high school that tried to convince me that she was pregnant and we'd never had sex.
Go for it.
So, the story begins in 9th grade when I met this black guy, Carl Wilson, and he worked at KFC. I kid you not, he worked at KFC.
This nigga.
Carl and I were in gym class. Now, this Carl guy, I'm not even gonna call him a nigger. You know why? Because he's not. He was a black guy. He was actually from fucking Africa. He was from Uganda. And this guy had just come over from fucking Africa like a month before school started. So we're in gym class, and I'm a pretty physically fit guy. I've always been a very strong person. And we're doing this fucking weightlifting shit. And I started going ape shit on it. Now remember, this is only 9th grade. But I was doing better than everyone else. So Carl comes up to me, he's like, and he says in like this super, super thick African accent, it's like, you are a warrior. You're very strong. You killed many creatures, something like that. Like, it was totally barbaric, and I was laughing my fucking ass off at him. So, because he was so fucking funny, I decided to make friends with Carl, and I would teach him how to fucking speak English better or whatever. So I find out that he's actually pretty good with music, and that's, like, my thing. So, I went over to his place a couple of times, and, like, on the 3rd or 4th time, he's like, yo, man, you got a girl? Okay, sorry, this is just so funny seeing his fucking face saying this shit, because he's, like, this hilarious-looking guy with like these big fucking dreads and everything, but he's talking to me as if we're like fucking like knights or something. And I said, no, no, I don't have a girlfriend. You know, I'm in 9th grade, just started high school, kind of don't know a single fucking person. So he says, well, I'd like you to meet. I don't even know what I'm gonna call her. Let's just call her A, just because I don't even want to say her name. So A shows up. She's a nice looking girl. Well, not even nice. Like I just thought that she was hot, not even like beautiful or anything. Because completely honest with you, like her face. Well, I'm pretty sure I got hit by a train a few times after she fell out of the Empire State Building and landed on her fucking nose. But the rest of it was okay. Now, I regret this because you know that's shallow and terrible and disgusting, but not really. Um, so he introduces me to A, and I get along pretty well, and we eventually start going out. The whole dramatic fucking bullshit ensues. She's fucking probably cheating on me. I'm fucking spending too much time with her, all that kind of shit. And it goes on for about 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, she starts talking about sex. She's like, yeah, I want to have sex. I want to have sex. I want to. I'm like, fine, 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 fine. We're going to have fucking sex. Where are we going to do it and when? Because my parents are always home, and your mother's always home. So she says, you know, my mom will be out, blah, 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 blah. So I go over there, and she doesn't want to. It gets super complicated. And eventually, I think one time, like, I got a condom on, but I didn't do anything. So for some reason in her mind that clicked, and suddenly that meant that we had sex or something. Because that's the only way that this next part can make sense. So I go to school. The day after that happened, it was like a Thursday or Friday or whatever. She comes up to me, like, keep in mind this is the day after. And she says, "I'm pregnant." So I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, I know she's not, and like, even if she is, it's sure as hell not mine. So I asked her, like, how do you know? She's like, I went to the doctor. I'm like, you think doctors can tell the day after you have sex that you're pregnant? By the way, we didn't have sex. She's like, yes, we did. We totally did it. We did. I'm pregnant now. I'm like, alright. I'll play along. So when's the baby due? And she says exactly 9 months. I'm like, okay. Great. So how did the doctor figure out that you were pregnant? Well, what do you mean, how did they figure it out? Well, you know, like, what was the test? What did you have to do? And she's like, excuse me, I'm not going to be talking about that private sort of thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're basically just telling me that I had my penis inside of your vagina, and now you're not willing to tell me what the doctor did in order to figure out that you were pregnant. Not only that, I can go over to that fucking computer and look it up on Google in like 5 seconds, so like, why aren't you telling me? And of course, she wanted to go to the computer so that she could figure it out, because she's clearly bullshitting me the entire time. And I couldn't get her to come up with it, so I was like, alright, not only is she not pregnant by me, she's not pregnant, period. So, a couple days pass, and she is getting super crazy about shit, and I break up with her, and I can't fucking deal with her anymore. And I think it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks later, I start going out with girl B. When I'm with girl B, as soon as girl A figures this out, she starts going fucking ape shit. When I say fucking ape shit, I mean like calling me, coming to my house in the middle of the night, fucking making death threats to my brother and shit like that. This bitch is going fucking insane. And eventually what she says is, you have to pick between your life with girl B and me and this baby, because this baby is going to be our life. And she starts breaking down, and it's obviously complete bullshit just so that she can wrangle me back in. Like, I was laughing my fucking ass off. Exactly. What fucking baby? There is no fucking baby. And I get to the point where I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm getting a fucking restraining order, or like something has to be done. You're gonna get arrested or something like that. So she backs off for a little while. So that was like on a Friday or something. So weekend passes, nothing happens. I don't hear from her. I'm like, finally got rid of that bitch. I'm hanging out with girl B. Everything's fine with girl B. Girl A's out of my life. Go to school on Monday. Girl A is there wearing a sweatshirt that I left at her fucking house this one time. She like got all this new perfume or something like that. She's like wearing these new clothes underneath the fucking sweater and all this stuff. And she comes up to me and she's like, I came here to give you your sweater back. You know, she's like caked on the makeup, trying to look as best she can or whatever. I'm like, oh god, what's this bitch gonna do? And she just looks at me and she gives me this really weird look. Like, tilted her head at me with her eyes wide open. And she's like, I love you. At this point, I was like, okay, she's obviously a little bit fucking crazy. It's like some shit out of a movie. So I kind of start backing away. I'm saying, I gotta go. I'm gonna go meet girl B. She's like, oh, you're gonna go meet girl B. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. So is she your girlfriend now? I'm like, yeah, she's my girlfriend now. She's like, yeah, so you can have sex with her and get her pregnant and leave her too? So I start laughing at her. She's getting pissed off. And she tries to grab me and she says, you're not going anywhere. She's gonna stop me. She's like, I am. So at this point now, I'm kind of backing up into the hallway where people can see me and everything so that, you know, something crazy doesn't happen. And she follows me under the hallway and she won't let go. She's actually fucking like clinging onto my arms. I'm walking and I'm basically carrying her with my body as I'm walking. And I'm trying to get people to help me get her off and stuff. So I start yelling at her and I'm raising my voice. Everybody's starting to gather around. And so I'm like, let me fucking go or I'm going to have to hit you. She's like, you won't hit a girl. I'm like, yes, I will. If you won't fucking let me go, I'm going to have to hit you. So I slap her in the fucking face and she lets go. So she sits down. She's like, look at him. He's a fucking woman abuser. I got like 5 or 6 of my female friends are just going, no, he's not. He told you. So now everybody's against her. She has no idea what to do. She's surrounded by her peers. She has no fucking clue how to get out of this situation without getting in some kind of trouble. So she fucking bites me on my arm. Like, open mouth, full, like, incised into my fucking arm. That's right, she bit me. She bit me. She bit my fucking arm. I still have the mark there. You know why I still have the mark there? Because she bit me so hard, and I was so surprised that I yanked my arm away and she fucking tore part of my skin off. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I should probably have a picture of this just to send other people for when I tell this story.
Yeah.
He's called the Biter. And you know, she rips off part of my fucking arm. A bunch of people hold her down, get the fucking principal over there. They take her out of the fucking school, find out that she's in an insane asylum for, you know, about 6 months. Get some serious treatments and all that kind of stuff. I testify against her in court, get a restraining order. And that was the first year of high school.
Oh, yay.
And now she's out, and she's actually pregnant. And, getting married to some meth head douchebag. Yep.
That was pretty awesome, but also at the same time really fucked up.